Back to the Wardrobe of Woe, and in today's video I'm going to be walking through 3 example Ossiarch Bonereapers lists. I will be explaining the units in the lists as well as providing a set of pros and cons to each list, as well as assigning a power ranking and providing a price point to collect this army if you are purchasing all the models from Games Workshop. And lastly, before we get started, I'd like to mention that these lists are mostly there to be a starting point that you can change or adjust to fit your playstyle or to include models that you like. These lists won't be built exclusively with competitiveness in mind unless I say otherwise. These lists are rather built around a specific theme, character, or playstyle. This is for entertainment purposes and to provide a variety of lists for you to experiment with. Additionally, I won't be including any battalions in these lists and leave that up to you if you would like to drop the number of drops that you have or include another artifact. And without further ado, let's get started. Our first list is a list revolving around Arkhan the Black and having a balanced army with an emphasis on magic through Arkhan and the Boneshaper. The grand strategy is Hold the Line, and the subfaction is Petrifex Elite. For leaders, we have Arkhan the Black, a Mortisan Boneshaper with Drain Vitality, and a Leech Kavlos, who is our general with the Petrifex Elite command trait and artifact. We also have a Galthazar Harvester to provide better defense for our Mortek lines. And for Badline, we have a whole bunch of Mortek. We have 2 blobs of 20 strong Mortek and a single unit of 10 Mortek. All of them are equipped with swords. As for other units, we have 2 units of Necropolis Stalkers to be our forward offensive units and to provide a bit of bite to the list. This list is a great starting point if you are looking to get into OBR. In my opinion, Arkhan is one of our best units, and with this list you end up getting a lot of the core units to have a successful OBR army. This list excels at having a great deal of defensive power and a lot of bodies to contest objectives, as well as great magic through Arkhan. But this army is fairly slow, and you only have 2 squishy hammer units, so you'll have to use them carefully. For a power ranking, I would give this list a 7 out of 10. And if you were to try and collect all of the units in this army, it'll come around $452 US, 345 British pounds, or 411 euros. Our next list revolves around utilizing Katakros and emphasizing martial buffs on the Mortek. The grand strategy is Hold the Line, and the subfaction is Mortis Praetorians. Mortis Praetorians is not necessarily the best subfaction, but if you want to utilize Katakros to his maximum, you need to take him in Mortis Praetorians. For leaders, we have Katakros, of course. He is the general. We have a Mortisan Soulmason to provide great offensive buffs. The Mortisan Soulmason is going to take empowered netherite weapons. And lastly, we have a Mortek Boneshaper to help return slain models, and they know the spell Reinforced Battle Shields to help buff the defenses of our Mortek. Next, we have 2 Galthazar Harvesters. The weapons you equip on them is not essential, so you can equip them with whatever one you like. They are there mostly to provide defensive buffs to Mortek, as well as to giving you some monsters if you would like to do some monstrous actions or get some bonus points. And lastly, for Badline, we have 3 20-man blobs of Mortek. They are all equipped with swords, and this is going to be your main fighting force where a lot of your strength is going to come through. This list really drives home how useful and versatile Mortek can be, with a lot of bodies and a lot of stackable offensive buffs to ensure your Mortek can hold the line as well as hit back hard. This list does have some shortcomings though, as it does not have a lot of magical support. It is very slow, and you have no dedicated hammer units, so you are going to be relying on your Mortek entirely to be your offensive and your defensive power. If I was to rate this list on a power scale, I would give it a 6 out of 10. As for a price point, it's going to be a little bit more expensive than the Arkhan list, costing around $472 US, 360 British pounds, or 430 euros. Lastly, we have a SKU list that really wants to flip the OBR formula on its head. This utilizes the Stalliarch Lords subfaction, which emphasizes cavalry and movement flexibility, and so this list was made with that in mind. The grand strategy is hold the line, and the subfaction is Stalliarch Lords. For leader units, we have a Liege Cavalos as the general, with the Stalliarch Lords command trait and the artifact. Then we have a Mortisan Soulmason with Drained Vitality. This is there because his offensive spell has a very large range, and so even though the speed of this army means that the Soulmason probably won't be able to keep up, you can still tag certain units with your buff if you need them to. The next hero we have is a Mortisan Boneshaper with Arcane Command. The Boneshaper is there to help kind of staunch the bleeding, so to speak, and let you regain some lost Death Riders, as well as they are equipped with the Arcane Command spell, because this army is going to be very relentless, discipline, hungry. You have a lot of wonderful abilities, and you're going to want to use a lot of them all of the time. For battle line, we have 4 squads of 5 Cavalos Death Riders. To shore up the Death Riders, we have a reinforced squad of Morghast Harbingers and 2 squads of Necropolis Stalkers. I really like Morghast Harbingers. The ability to have a 3d6 charge combined with the run and charge passive of Stalliarch Lords means that your Morghast Harbingers can really zoom around the battlefield and provide a lot of deadly offensive power. Necropolis Stalkers are a all-around good unit, so including 2 of them is a no-brainer. They also have enough speed that they can more or less keep up with the rest of the army, and they make use of the run and charge very well with their ability Hunt and Kill, which lets them reroll run and charge rolls. I won't lie, this list is a bit of a meme, but if anything, it will definitely catch your opponents off guard with how fast and mobile your army can be. Stalliarch Lords provide a great deal of movement tools to let you run and charge, and retreat and charge for an RDP. This, combined with all of the fast units included in this list, will allow you to zoom around the battlefield and control the flow of battle. This list does not have much in the way of staying power or defense, and so it'll have a hard time controlling or contesting objectives. Additionally, it is going to be very RDP hungry, so you're going to need to manage your resources properly. It is a little bit more of a difficult army to use compared to the other 2, but if you like cavalry and horse units, I would definitely consider utilizing this list. As for power ranking, I give this list a horse out of 10. For a price point, this army will cost you around $550 US, 420 British pounds, nice, or 500 euros. Before we end things off, I would like to give thanks to our Patreon members and an extra special thank you to Nick Hoff. If you would like to support the channel, there is a link to my Patreon in the description below. Additionally, there is a link to my Discord if you'd like to be a part of the growing community we have over there. Well, that was 3 unique OBR lists for you to experiment with. Out of the 3, the Arkhan List is probably my favorite. I like the strong magical support that Arkhan brings, as well as his model is just very cool, and I enjoy bringing it. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If there is an army that you would like me to do some example lists for, please leave those down in the comments below. If you enjoyed the content and would like to see more, consider subscribing. This has been the Wargrove of Woe, and I'll see you guys next time.